Hey, welcome back to Don't Run with Scissors. I'm Kelly, your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins, 4 crazy rescue dogs, and a rescue cat who likes to craft in her spare time. If you're new here, forgive the voice. It's been a month. It is slowly coming back though, so fingers crossed. But if you could go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button, it sends me a message. It boosts my self-esteem and my serotonin, and I could use that. And if you're a returning friend, you already know the crazy you're in for, so grab your drink, sit on back, and let's have at it. I've been working. And that's a great thing. And I am not complaining one bit. Friday, so I had joked that I just wanted a day where I could lay in bed and watch TV and basically do nothing. Thursday night after stitching group on Zoom, I crashed. I absolutely crashed. And between Thursday night when I went to bed and Saturday morning, let's count that 36 hours roughly, I probably slept about 30 of them. And apparently that is exactly what my body really needed, because my energy level is much better. I'm feeling much better. The other thing, as much as and I know I'm going to hear about it, and that's fine, the one doctor had recommended using Mucinex. I generally don't find it as effective for me as if I take Dayquil. And so I went to the store the other day and bought more Dayquil. And I think between the two of all of the sleep and knowing really ultimately what works for my body, I am feeling better. Am I 100%? Clearly I'm not. But am I doing better and now making progress? Yes. And so we'll take that. Let's see. I bought a couple Etsy patterns. I think I showed you these last week. I bought a couple St. Patrick's Day patterns to do. There's nothing else for the ficus. From Artie, from the vintage stuff. Oh, please. The dog bells ringing. Sorry about that. The other, so I got those. I got a couple about a couple of Valentine's Day patterns off of Etsy. I haven't printed them out yet. I need to stop buying Valentine's Day patterns until I stitch a bunch of them. I really need to stop buying patterns in general until I stitch a bunch of them. But we both know that that's not going to happen. So, Thursday night, we had Stitchy Zoom. Now, the one I started to FFO, and I didn't realize how crooked, how wonky it is. So I got to fix this one before I go any further on it. But I did finish the Blarney sheep, and then I FFO'd it. I know. Who am I? I also FFO'd Lunar New Year sheep and Christmas cheer sheep, which means we're gonna start since I'm just trying to get them all done. We're gonna start on 4th of July, or free sheep. I call it the 4th of July sheep. I don't know why. It's not necessarily. But while I was finishing or FFOing those, I also pulled out, my daughter asked if the little pushins that I had stitched before could be turned into magnets. And I did that. Okay, so we did those. And then I also FFO'd her an ornament. There's that. So that's very exciting. Because we all know I don't generally FFO anything. And I FFO'd 7 things. Yeah. Homegirl better knock this shit off. Oh, she might be hungry. Hold, please. Again. Okay, so we did that. So then, I did get some stitching done, and I've been watching a little bit of Flosstube, some new to me channels, some returning channels, like just random for the most part. And what I realized is I was watching Leanne from Small Town Stitches. Leanne does a lot of full coverage, and she's here in Michigan. She's actually not that far from me. And the one thing I noticed that several of us do, and I'm guilty of it too, is we apologize for not having a bunch of stitches. And we minimize what we do. And I started to realize that as I was watching Janet. And I love watching Janet. Janet brings me joy. She's one of those that I faithfully watch every Tuesday morning. Like, honestly, it starts my Tuesday off right. I get up, I watch Janet, have my cup of coffee. Sometimes I stitch with her and stuff. And I think we come on here and we talk about, oh, life is so busy and I don't have much stitching, but really and truly, like, for most of us, stitching is a hobby. It's our fun way to relax. And so, to get on and show any stitches is a great week. That means you got to take those few minutes to just sort of take a deep breath and pause and just relax. Maybe you stitch with friends, maybe you stitch alone, it doesn't matter, but you got to take that time. And I think that we need to pat ourselves on the back for any time that we make to do something like this. And I think we've just been so conditioned that if we don't produce great numbers, or if we don't produce, tons of finishes or whatever, that somehow is less than. And I guess I'm trying to, in my own head even, to, as my workload gets heavier and other things have to take priority, to not minimize even taking a few stitches on one project every week and showing that off and being proud that I took a few minutes just for me. Stitching is just for me. I may be stitching a gift for somebody, but the act of needle and thread to fabric, that's a me thing. So I guess I throw that out there just as food for thought ultimately. So yeah. So with that, I have a lot of stitches to show you. I made a whole lot of X's. The first one was today. I went into the office and Nola and I worked on some things at the office, and so we took care of, and we're making some headway there, and we've got a plan in that, so that's great news. So I worked on, it's Stocking Sunday. It's the first Sunday of the month, so first Sunday and third Sunday I work on my son's stocking. We affectionately call it Vanessa because it's Vanessa. This project is probably going to be the death of me. I will tell you that it is, I don't know why, but it's a struggle. I love it. I love watching the progress, but it is a struggle for me to stitch on. And I think it's just because by the time you start to get into a groove, the threads came pre-cut. So to me, they're too short. And there's not enough stitches in one area at this point. Now maybe later in the stocking, I don't know, maybe there will be. I'm doubtful. So by the time you start to find a little bit of a groove, it's time to change a color. And that's hard for me to have so much color changes, and it just, at the same time, too much, if you're not changing colors at all, being stocking is kind of the opposite right now, where it's just tons and tons of blue, the same color blue. And so you're fighting the opposite end of the spectrum of getting bored because you're not changing colors. I kind of like something in between. I do have another finish to show you in a second. So because I finished the other project, my next focus to finish is He Tends His Flock. This is for my deaf mentor. So I started this Thursday after I was like, okay, I don't want to finish anything else, like FFO anything. So I just started filling in the white clouds, and I filled in this cloud here, and we just have this one here to fill in. So that's pretty exciting. This is on a 32 count linen by Atomic Ranch in the color Blush. And the pattern, Lizzie, go lay down. The pattern is by Tranquil Tree Cross Stitch Design on Etsy. I don't know what happened to my cover sheet with it. I don't know. So we got some stitches on that, and like I said, it will be my that will be my main focus until that is done. That's kind of how I'm working my whips this year. I have certain days that I'll work on certain projects, but in general, I'm gonna try to I rotate between that and whatever that is and Lady Justice, and then when Lady Justice finishes, I'll start Lady of the Flag, or Queen of Freedom, or Queen of Peace, or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. I did not work on that one. My piles got a little bit mixed up. I think I did work a little bit more on Lady Justice since the last time I saw you guys. If I didn't, forgive me, and you'll just get to enjoy her again. I don't know. I think I did. I love her so much. I do need to sit down still and figure out what other Krynics that I'm missing besides the one silver for the sword blade, so that I can get that ordered as soon as possible. I did pick up some fabric so that we'll talk about that in a second. Hang on. Okay. Yikes. My colors are screwed up. Okay. I worked on FFO mat because I'm doing Stitch to the Moon with my team. So last month I put in I put in 509 stitches last month on this. Yesterday I stitched and I added another 134, I believe it is. I think it was 134. This is FFO mat by Unconventional Cross Stitch. We hit 3%, y'all. I have stitched almost 11,000 stitches to hit 3%. Insanity. But he's looking really cool. So I got on a lot of the 310. I think what I'm going to do right now is just focus in on getting all of the 310 done. In order to finish let me pull it up here. I'll tell you. show you the mock-up. For those of you who haven't seen Buffet Map by Unconventional Cross Stitch, this is Buffet Map by Unconventional Cross Stitch. It is a total of 360,000 stitches. That's right, 360,000 stitches. Don't ask. So right now we're sitting at 3.05 stitches, and I've stitched 10,983 stitches. So I think I'm going to focus, like I said, on the black stitches on 310. And in order to finish the 310 stitches, I still have 44,725 stitches left to go in just 310. Hence, why we own the Mega Cone of Doom. Because I figured between this and the periodic table, I'm going to need it all. I know. So there's that. What's nice is I don't know what that is on my fabric. I have no idea. And I don't have to worry about it because it's full coverage. So la-ti-da. Okay. The last thing I worked on besides my other finish is I worked on the Snow Miser from, well, he's from A Year Without Santa Claus. And I'm doing the Snow Miser, the Miser Brothers. So Snow Miser and Heat Miser. And it's from a shop on Etsy called I don't freaking know. It's by Hoop Dreams Studio on Etsy. I am stitching it on a piece of free fabric from Wanderlust Designs. Yes, in the color Mock Turtle. I believe it's an 18 count Ada. It's actually really, really pretty there. Oh, that's pretty true to color. Oh, he looks good. I can't wait to get him done and then to finish his brother, the Heat Miser. If you know, you know. That is my all-time favorite Christmas movie. All-time favorite. Like, really and truly love the Miser Brothers. And Mother Nature and Mr. and Mrs. Claus. Love them. Okay, the other thing that I did is I want to start the Flowers of the Month series. I know I've talked about it before. So the other night, I have all but I think 2 colors now for January, February, and March. And the 2 colors I'm missing are actually, ironically, for February. So this is the colors that we'll be dealing with. All of the borders are, for each month, are going to be this beige. I've got an ivory, off-white, like linen, or even weave. And so I want to get that done, but I want to finish, ideally, before I actually start it, I'd like to finish one more thing. At least one more thing. In my brain I have it where this is supposed to be a Sal, even though I'm doing it by myself now, the Sal, when she issued them one by one. That was years ago. Like, I think it was pre-COVID or during COVID. I don't know. It's been a while. It's been available. So in my brain, I feel like I should finish up one of the Sals I have going now before I start another Sal. To me, this is still a Sal. It's just like I won't start another ornament until I finish the Snow Miser. I finished the one sheep, so I am going to start that sheep on Friday because Kim does What the Flock Fridays. and sheep are in a flock, so I'm doing it. Because she's doing flamingos, but I don't have that many flamingo patterns, oddly enough. Um, but I want to get the sheep done, so Friday I work on the sheep, if nothing else. I also keep the sheep in my purse because it's super simple to just go. And the fabric is already like cut out. I put a needle in there, my needle. The threads are already cut and stuff, and it's a small enough pattern where I generally, now I will say with the Irish one, because the detail of the sheep and stuff, I ended up having to make a working copy and use it. I don't know that I'm going to have to do that for him. So I will probably start doing the little flag badge in his tummy first. I don't know. Either that or I'll start with his head. I don't know. With his head. We'll see. But that's how I do like certain things. I don't want to like. It was Lunar New Year. I will admit that I think I'm going to shoot for in the month of February to finish another blessing sampler. And what I'm going to do is I have my phrase for the year, which is together we will achieve more. I think I'm going to cross stitch that just in a little small chart, using just random threads kind of thing, and use that sort of to restart the year. January was very good to me in many, many ways, so I'm not complaining, but if February could treat me a little bit better health-wise, I would really appreciate it. Okay, so we have one other FFO to talk about, or one other finish to talk about. That's right, I finished the pickle sampler. I love this. I cannot wait to get it in a little frame and give it to Jasmine. I think she will absolutely adore it as well. I do know that I will probably stitch the whole sampler again for my house. I am also going to stitch the jar of pickles at least 2 times so that Tammy from Leopard and Lace Co. XOXO has said that she will finish the ornament for me so that it's extra pretty and special. And then I know that her daughter has been eyeing the sampler as well, so I will stitch a jar of pickles for her to get to her own daughter because it's so cute and little and I love it. That is all of my stitching. That is actually quite a bit compared to considering everything that we're going through. Now this next week is court-wise. As of right now, I have no court this week, and that's okay with me. I have been given a list of things to do from Noel for the office. That is back and front here. And I have a couple other little things that I need to get done as well. That's not on the list, but is for clients and stuff. So that's, yeah. So no rest for the wicked. Okay, so the kids, so we've been playing with Go, and I still have to finish the one from Taryn, which was to finish cleaning the living room. We've made tremendous progress on it. My son basically needs to get his clothes out of my living room. And the file cabinet that I got him from the office to put his music in needs to go in his room. That will be big. And then I have a coffee table that I'm going to donate or take to the curb for somebody to pick up. And that will take care of a lot of it. So Whipco calls got pulled for February. Lizzie, enough. And for me, both my kids got called for one of the squares was their names. So many of you know, like for my Whipco this year, much like Kim, who is the snitch stitcher, um, we're doing our boards a little bit differently, where when you get pulled for your name, we put names of friends and family in our squares. So when your name gets called, you get to pick a project for us to work on. And then, I don't want to say like a self-care thing, but for me, it's something that you think will benefit myself or my home or my family kind of thing. So, um, like I said, last month, Stephanie picked that I had to rest, like no TV, no random scrolling kind of thing, like just focus on me for 30 minutes, 4 times during the month. So I did it once a week. That was probably pretty easy just because I was so sick, so I couldn't do a whole lot of things. So, and then we started the Dear Soldier sale, or I started my Dear Soldier. I think she's almost done with hers. And then my friend Taryn picked that I had to hand off 50% of my chore list that I take on for the house to the kids. And I've been really good about that. And then we had to completely clean and straighten one area of the house that would mean the most to my family. So we ended up picking the living room. So that way we could sit and like have the TV going and chill out or whatever, and it wasn't so stressful in that. And so for February comes about, and I talked to Bean, and Bean was like, okay, you need to actually finish something. Whatever it is, whatever project, just pick a project and actually finish it. And then her second goal was that we would have like a family pizza night. Okay. Where maybe we watch a movie, maybe we play on the Wii. My kids love Wii bowling, and then they love Wii hula hoop. But we also have a Switch, and we have some other things, so we can, or we can play a board game or whatever. But the point was just to relax, pizza is one of her favorite meals, so eat something cool, like that kind of thing. So then I asked William, and at first William was like, I don't know. So then he came up with that I had to work on my longest project. And I was like longest in length, longest time I've been working on a project, like meaning like my oldest whip, like what does that mean? He goes, however you interpreted it. So in kicking it around, we've decided that it's the whip that I've had the longest, which is actually not a cross-stitch whip. For me, that would be a quilting whip, and that's cool. So I just need to be able to pull out my sewing machine. At the same time, I bought the backing fabric because I realized that my piece of fabric that I had slated to finish 2 their lap quilts for the kids wasn't big enough. So I bought the fabric at Joann's to back both of those so that I could quilt those, which would knock out Bean's whip of finishing a whip. I could actually finish 2, one for each of them, which would be perfect. Because that was actually, I had hoped to have them done in January, but I also didn't, when I set that goal in my brain, I didn't count on being super sick. So I said to the boy child, what's the second goal, for the family? And first he was like, I don't know, you pick something. Just pick something. So his chore has been to clean the kitchen, which included cleaning out the microwave, the air fryer, doing all the dishes, wiping down the counters, putting stuff away, like going through the refrigerator, wiping out the refrigerator, that kind of thing. Mopping the floor. And it's been that way for a while because he will do parts of it and he never finishes it. I'm like, okay. It did not include painting the wall. That's okay. Like, that's a different day. Okay. So that's been his chore. Well, I didn't think to specify that when you picked something for me to do, you couldn't be passing back chores to me. Like, I didn't think I would have to specify that. Stupid me. Because my son comes to me Saturday afternoon as I'm like, look, I'm not even driving you to work if you don't have your dishes touched. Like, seriously. I'm not driving you anywhere. And he's got some pretty big band things coming up this week. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm crabby. I don't feel good. So he comes to me Saturday and he goes, I know what my second thing is, Mom. And I was like, oh, dear God. I was like, okay. So I was expecting something fun, like go get Elmo fixed, because Elmo needs a car repair, and I've been putting it off and that kind of thing. And he goes, you have to help me finish the kitchen. I got lawyered by my own kid. So that said, those are all clean dishes in the background, except for tonight's dishes, which, I'll handle in the morning because I just don't have the energy right now. The kids have got classes. I've got a shit ton of paperwork and stuff to do, but on Tuesday he has what's called a master class at one of the local music stores. The French horn player from the Philharmonic Orchestra is coming in to teach a class, and he was one of the students who got picked to play and get feedback from this horn player. So that's super, super exciting. So we've got that to do this week on top of everything else. But again, I don't have court as of right now. Now that could totally change tomorrow, as we all know. Anybody who's been around here long enough knows. I say it's a lower key week. That does not mean it's going to stay a low key week. So we'll see what I can get done stitching wise. Again, every stitch is a great stitch. It's one more that I didn't have done going into the week. If everything keeps going well with my lungs and my breathing and stuff, I would like to start back to biking. Even if it's just a 20-minute ride. And I say just a 20-minute ride, but I realize I am very grateful that a 20-minute ride to me is not, I've maintained that level of fitness where a 20-minute ride isn't a struggle. And I know that I'm very blessed for that factor. And I do not take that for granted at all. So the other thing is my, I don't want to call her a health coach. She's a nurse, an actual RN, who has gone back to get a degree in functional medicine, like functional medicine nursing. And so she's been working with me to get in her clinical hours, which is great because she's, it's been very interesting. So she's challenged me to go back to try new recipes. So we're trying, our goal as a family is to try a new recipe every Friday. So if you have a recipe that you might want to recommend to me, if you could either inbox me on Instagram. I have a big knot in my head, my hair. If you want to message me on Instagram at His Princess Kelly, that would be great. You could always pop it down below. I'm sure everybody else would also benefit and would love that. And while I'm gluten-free, my kids are not, so it's not like, and I have substitute 1-for-1 flour and things like that. So if you have a great recipe that you think we might enjoy, let me know, because I'm up for trying just about anything. Just about anything. There we go. Other than that, I'm going to let you go. I am now up to, in the Marvel series, I am now watching Agatha something or other. I just finished Daredevil season 2. So I'm sort of feeling the pull tonight to work on either Lady Justice or Modern Folk Embroidery Fruits of Plenty Sal. Both are goals of mine to try and get done today. Oh, that's what I was going to share with you. So as of right now, going into February, I have finished 5 whips, 2 of which were new starts, so don't judge me. But one was the Blessings. We finished the Blessing Sampler, the Avengers Assemble, 4th of July Rules, the Pickle Sampler, and the Shamrock Sheep. So my goal is, again, 25 finishes and 25 FFOs this year. So we're already at 5 done for finishes. As far as FFOs, we have the 3 magnets of Pusheen, the hippo ornament, the 3 sheep. I framed the Avengers, and I made Bella her solar system cell into a pillow. So I believe that puts us at 9 FFOs going into February. So hopefully we can get at least 2 FFOs of the quilts in February and another whip finished. Because I think that, and the only other thing that we're going to start is we'll get at least one finish in February, because we're going to start doing February ornaments, and I need to find where I set my pattern of 100 hearts, and I think that's what I'm going to start with. So we'll see. Although I just bought one that's got a piece of toast and a jar of jelly, and it says you're my jam, and I just think that's cute, and it would go with my tree. I am gonna stop doing Valentine's. I thought I would go the whole month, but the reality is I realized that I don't really have any St. Patrick's Day ornaments for the ficus. And so we need to have at least a couple on there for the ficus. So we might need to stop a little bit early on the Valentine's Day towards the end of the month. We'll see. I surprisingly, for somebody who's not a huge fan of Valentine's Day, I really have a lot of. I probably have already about a dozen ornaments on the tree, on the ficus, that are Valentine's Day. So it's kind of funny to me. The only other holiday that I probably have more ornaments and stuff that I could hang is obviously Christmas. So we'll be looking to kind of change that and adjust that as we go through the year. Because obviously we'll need 4th of July, then 4th of July we'll need some Easter and things like that. So it'll be fun. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go rest my boys. I'm going to make some hot tea, maybe get some stitches in, and yeah, and then I'm going to head to bed. So I know, I'm living on the edge, you guys. But you know what? I have no complaints. Honestly, I have no complaints. Life is good. And it's only going to keep getting better. So I'm excited. So remember, you are smart. You are beautiful. You are cherished. You are strong. You are loved. You are needed. You are wanted. And mostly, you matter. So with that, I am sending you all of the love. And I will talk to you guys again next week. If there's anything that I can do, feel free to reach out to me at His Princess Kelly on Instagram. Reach out to me down below. Send a smoke signal. The owl from Hogwarts. I don't know. However you need to get a hold of me, get a hold of me. And I will certainly see what I can do. And I will talk to you all later. Bye.